So, Urban Outfitters continues to be fucking awful, and their latest thing that they're doing is all cultural appropriation towards Native people. Because apparently, white people haven't done enough to Native people. Including on this line is a smudge kit, which includes a smudge stick, a feather, instructions, and whatever else very much influenced from the Native culture. Now, when I was reading this article, I was pissed off, but then I started getting a little bit concerned because I was like, wait a second, could I possibly be doing some cultural appropriation myself? Because, but here's the reason, because I'm very much against cultural appropriation, especially towards Native people. Well, no, just in general, but Native people have had a really bad time of it. Anyways, because here's the thing, is that I was under the misconception that smudging was something that was shared with Celtic people, which it kind of is, and I'll get into that. So, basically, using smoke to cleanse an area for negative energy or whatever is actually a very common thing that happens in cultures all over the world. Incense is probably the one you've heard of the most and is used the most. But in terms of actual, smudging, that is Native American only. Bad Catherine. But, see, the thing is that since I was seeing this stuff all over, when I was converting to Wicca, and whatever, I very much am influenced of the Celtic, because the thing is with Wicca, you kind of get your deities, your influence from any culture, pretty much, any religion that's been wiped out kind of thing, unless it's sort of a cultural appropriation situation. But especially it's important to do that if you have the heritage there. For example, I am Irish and Scottish, and I've always, whole life, felt very connected to that bit of my heritage. And it's not bit, it's like half of me is Irish and Scottish. The exact, I'm half French, quarter Irish, quarter Scottish, but anyways. But I haven't felt a very strong connection to my half side that's French. But yeah, moving on. So I was under the misconception that smudging was just something that was shared by Celtic pagans and Native Americans, because there are a lot of things that are shared by the two peoples. But it turns out I was a little bit misinformed. So I thought I would share my new discovery with everyone else so that no one else makes this mistake, because I feel awful for unintentionally culture appropriating and also finding out actually the thing that is Celtic is so much better for me. I'm not saying that one culture is better than the other, but for my own self. And then the sage, because I thought that was the only option for a cleansing thing. But no, actually the Celtic way works better for myself. So, using herbs, dried herbs as a cleansing thing, very much is both cultures. Celtics don't call it smudging. We don't use the feather. Not that I ever have, and I've always seen that as like the Native American smudging versus the Celtic smudging, which that's not what it is. It's smoke cleansing. But the Celtics would often use a bowl with the dried herbs in it instead of a bundled stick like this. However, they would sometimes use a bundled stick like this, just because it was easier or whatever else. But another thing is that instead of using sage like the Native Americans did, they oftentimes, the key herb that they would use was juniper. So, but they would sometimes use in the bowl a mixture of several different herbs, including things like rosemary and whatnot, and depending on what they needed to use the cleansing ritual for primarily, and then they would mix it all in the bowl and then use and get it, not on fire, but smoking, and then, go around like that, instead of like this. So, I am gonna get rid of this, or not. I'll probably keep it so I have something to show people but I won't use it again. And also I'm kind of happy because sage, when burning, kind of smells like weed. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's hard to explain sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know what these other herbs that I'm going to start trying from now on smell like, but it's good to know a new ritual that I can do that I like better and that I have a stronger connection to. because it's just kind of every time I find a new Celtic thing, it just, and even things I did as a kid, just intuitively call that your, whatever, calling to the religion or something. But, yeah. Although one thing I saw someone accusing of cultural appropriation is stonework, like having gemstones and using the energy of that, because that's all over the place. And it was a very prominent thing in Celtic too, so my bases are still covered. Because again, I am Celtic, and I've always felt, even though my physical appearance, as I've been told by way too many people for me to understand, because I don't see it, but apparently I look very French. And I do look like my dad, who's French, so, but my mind, heart, soul, but whatever. I'm sorry, this is getting all religious and stuff now on you. I don't want to make you all seem like I'm pushing my religion on you, because honestly, believe whatever you need to, as long as you're not cultural appropriating. Now, I have made a video about this subject before, about, well, religions, you know, sometimes you find a belief that really sticks with you. And I feel like you need to learn it from an actual person of that culture and have it be okayed by a religious figure who is a person of that culture and race. That's what I found online the most, but I don't even want to get into that because I very much am a white person. While I technically am like 136 native, it's not enough for me to actually consider anything, because nobody looks at me and thinks, oh, that girl's 136 native. They're like, nope, that chick's white. French Canadian, I've been, apparently it's an ethnicity, because I learned ethnicity isn't race. I was so confused when someone's like, no, you gotta put French Canadian on there because that's your ethnicity. I'm like, I guess everyone says I look French, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't appropriate cultures, and learn what, if you want to use a smoke cleansing thing, learn which one is from your own heritage before doing it, or buying a smudge thingy. You might find one that works better, because I have this little, like, thingy that's perfect for it, and it has a freaking pentacle on it and everything that I can use now, and it's awesome. And I have all these herbs I bought when I first was, like, getting into Wicca. For some reason I just, like, bought all these herbs, and now I can use them, and it's awesome. Okay, thanks for watching.